Today I'm going to have a go at doing something like this, a sort of autumnal mountain view. And I'm not going to do it on that piece of paper though. That's going to be that was my practice piece, as well as this one and this one, and this one's got notes on it, and just so you know, and this is from 365 Days of Art in Nature by Lorna Scobie. Wonderful book, and this is where that all started, figuring out how to turn two wavy lines into a painting of mountains and hills. So that's how that ended up. And then on this side I just filled in some of these egg shapes with gold. I'm going to put some designs on those later this evening. Quite often in the evening I'll sit here and do something in this book. I'm up to page 60 now. There's a couple I've left out, but I'll come back to them later. But most of them I've done. Anyway, enough of that. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Now, I've got some paper here. This came as a sample yesterday because I happened to spend quite a lot of money on paints and paper from, what do they call it? Great Art, they call it in England. And here in France, they call it, or Europe, le Géant des Beaux-Arts. Great Art, a huge catalogue that they have. One of those great big thick catalogues, like we used to have Littlewood's catalogues and things, and it's full of art stuff. Oh, God, here it is. Look. How is anybody supposed to navigate their way through that? I really don't know. Make a good doorstop, though. I mean, literally, that weighs, I don't know, probably as much as a cat, at least. Yes, so this is, yeah, that's that. Oh, we're a bit behind the times in this country, you know. Never mind. What was I saying? I've lost my thread again. Yes, anyway, so this is a new kind of watercolour paper. You can get it on Amazon. I just checked, and they have some on Amazon. I'm sure they'll have more. It's just been released straight off the presses. Made by Clairefontaine, the same as the Etival that I use. Only this, instead of being 100% cellulose, this one is 100% cotton. And I'm going to give it a workout today, and we'll see how it goes. They've sent me a piece of cold press, hot press, and rough, plus a sheet of black. That's just crying out for gold. Yes, my starry colours are going to come into their own on that sometime soon. But for the minute, let's stick with the plan, Stan. And I'm going to use my big palette here for this painting, I think, which has got a mixture of all sorts of professional colours on it. You know, Winsor & Newton, Schminker, Old Holland, Daniel Smith, the whole caboodle. And they're all labelled with what they are around the outside edge. So I know this is olive green, needs a bit of refilling there, cobalt blue, cerulean, and so on and so forth. So it's a good way because you can mix up the colours as you go along, and then if you've mixed a bit more than you need, you've still got them there. So when you come to paint the next painting, you've got, you know, a nice little row of analogous colours there. Is it analogous? I think it is. Analogous colours, and then there's a complementary sitting right beside it there. Red and turquoise, opposite sides of the colour wheel. Let's go for it. Okay, there's my master card. And we're going to, like I always say, try to make a horizon sort of roughly a third of the way up or a third of the way down. And this does divide into threes, more or less. We've got the sort of semi-foreground here. Then we've got these trees in the distance and the mountains too. And then we've got the sky. So we'll just kind of indicate for ourselves where those boundaries are going to be, just so we have a rough idea. You could do this as a sort of vignette if you wanted to, rather than going right to the edges. Maybe I'll do that. And then, oh yes, I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the better version. And this has got in the front a slab of rock This must be somewhere in America. It looks a bit too rugged for anywhere in my neck of the woods. So just put some lines in that like that. And then coming up here, we've got some trees, birches probably. And then coming down, we've got another sort of branch kind of thing, which is coming from another birch. And over here behind this rock, we've got some, I'll just indicate the trunks just lightly so that we know roughly. And then down here, we've got some green all on this area here. And so we should sort of just give ourselves a line, and then must make sure we don't do what I did here, which is have two sections like that and that, which are almost exactly the same with the line parallel. That's completely rubbish. So we'll make that go up like that, and then we'll make this one smaller and go down like that. And then we've got the mountains in the background. Doesn't matter what shape they are. If you have a mountain that's a favourite of yours, do that. I'm not going to do that though, what I've just done. Where's my dinky do? Where's my thingy, what's it? There it is. The one that's further away should really be lower, just because it's further away. So I'll take that out. Put one in a bit lower, and this one maybe make that a bit higher perhaps. See how it goes when I come in with the sky. Something like that. Anything like that. It doesn't matter how you do it. It really doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter a jot. Okay, so let's find a biggish kind of brush, not too massive. How about something like this? This is an 11 golden nylon from Drawwell. And we'll just pick up a bit of blue. I'm not too precious about what blue I use. I tend to mix and mingle a bit. And so we'll just pop that in, leaving some gaps for the birds to fly through, you know, as you do. Make it a little bit darker on one side than on the other, because the sky always is, isn't it? I'm going to be putting some leaves over the top of that, so you don't want too much colour in the corner there. Can sort of lift a bit of that out. Just make it a little bit lighter. Okay, and then I think the distant mountains probably ought to be on the mauve side, sort of purplish, so we'll do that. But I'll tell you what I will do. I noticed when I did it the first time, I should stop short of the edges. I'm not going to do this vignette style, not this time, but I am going to stop short of here, because this is where the golden colours of the autumn leaves are going to go up, and they don't want to go on top of purple really, because as you know, brown and purple, or orange and purple, makes grey. So this is not a good thing. So the slightly nearer mountain is going to be, it's going to stop there again, same reason, and I'm going to leave some holes in it, and that would give the impression of form and possibility that there has been also already an early snowfall at the top of the mountain. So you just imagine that. And then we'll put a little bit of bluish green here, again keeping away from this tree. There. And then a bit darker. We'll go for a bit darker, so we'll go for some olive green. And I think I'll put that in fairly neat. Not neatly, but just neat, something like that. And then we can add to that afterwards when we come back with the next step. Then we're going to go for for quinacridone gold, and we're going to pop that in here and sort of deliberately let it blend. And then So that's like a wood down there that's got a forest full of golden leaves, something like that. And then, so we're going to go green again here, coming closer. Then let's pick up some red, and we'll pop some red mixed with a bit of quinacridone to make it a little bit less bluish red. So we'll do that up here. Try to sort of keep the strokes broken so there's plenty of light in that. And on the other side we'll do it same kind of thing. Quinacridone this side. And drag in a little bit of green. Okay, then we want some sort of greenish brown sort of thing for the rock. We will put some darker things in there too, so but that's sort of like the undercoat. We'll go back up to the mountains and make them a little bit sharper because they've kind of faded out a bit. And then I'm going to grab my Carrot Aquarelle Stettler pencil to do the tree trunks with. And also the rocks. This is a watercolour pencil. And if you go into damp paper, you're going to get quite a dark line like that. And then if you want to make it even wetter, darker rather, you just wet it. And you get an amazing black line, very strong. And so just bring the pencil through here, sort of bringing up some tree trunks and branches and all that good stuff. I'll just wet this, and you can see the tree trunks appearing as if by magic. be picking up some more of the yellowy tones and building up this forest, I suppose, really is what we've got here. And then we're going to want some really dark brownish green down here to sort of just make the rocks in the foreground stand out a bit. I might go for a smaller brush now. And just put some vertical lines here. There's thunder. Don't know if you can hear that. And I'm just dropping in some dark lines there to give the impression of rugged rocks. And then I'm going to put some sort of greyish leaves up here, because I felt that it was too much to have the red and the yellow up there as well. So I'll just put some greyish ones with just a few orangey ones. Just a few. And a few over here. And a few bluish ones. One of my favourite colour combinations is blue-grey and yellowy, you know, small brush. Where have you gone? Gold, yellowy gold. So we'll do the branch quite light. Quite light and sort of a bit detached. Like that. And then with the small brush, hello cat, too small, we'll go for the 7. And then I'm going to, I mean, you could work this in detail, but for me it never works. So I'm just going to spatter some quinacridone gold into that tree. And I'm going to spatter some red. I can make that work into that tree. And then I think it's probably time to let that dry. And I have to say, so far the paper seems to be working really well. But we'll let that dry and then come back in and see if we can adjust the tones. Okay, so I'm just making a few adjustments here, putting in a little bit more green here to bring that down a bit to the center of the painting. And what else did I do? I kind of just emphasized the trunks a little bit. I might bring in a few more dots of gold for the leaves. Bring some out here a bit. And yeah, I don't want to make this front too dark, because if you have a big dark barrier in the front there of your painting, it can make it feel as if you're sort of shutting off from what's, you know, in the next layer, so to speak. So yeah, I think that's probably just about as far as I want to go with that. So I think I'll leave that there, and we'll come back and have a look at it when it has completely dried. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this little impressionistic landscape with an autumnal feel to it, and with the whole painting shown step by step so you can really get a feel for the process. It's what you might call a loose painting, which gets its appeal from the contrasting colours rather than the details of the landscape elements. So let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget all the materials I used are listed in the description below the painting. If you use one of our links to Amazon, we get a small commission at no cost to you, and we're always very appreciative of that, so thank you in advance. Hope you enjoyed this session, and I'll say bye for now and see you again soon. So bye bye everybody, bye bye.